the Pennsylvania State Championships that fall.
Gotcha. In 2019.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. And I know in there, and I don't know the timeline with this a whole lot. I think it was leading up to that COVID time period. You've dealt with some like herniated disc issues. Can you kind of like share that journey and what you had to do and how that recovery went?
Yeah, for sure. So it was, towards the end of wrestling season that year, uh, it was actually after one of the meets I was doing a deload on squats. I had 315 on the bar for a couple sets of 5, nothing too crazy. Did unracked it as I would. First 2 reps, fine. Third rep went down on the way up, felt a pop right there on the left side, right in my lower back, and then just a flood of pain down my leg. I was able to grind out the rep. After that, man, when I say I couldn't move, man, bending at the waist, bending my spine at all, anything like that just sent a wave of pain down my leg. It was almost to the point where I couldn't go to class because I had such a problem walking after it. So needless to say, that put me out for a long period of time. I had to get a cortisone injection in there. And then I took probably 3 weeks off of doing anything at all before even getting back in the gym with just like light walking. And then, so I started back with that and just some light upper body stuff at first. And that felt okay. So I progressed into, some more intense workouts at that point, but it was probably 8-9 months before I even touched a barbell again with back squats. A lot of the stuff I did in the time period was, leg extensions. The leg press at the gym I work at didn't put like direct pressure on my lower back, so I was able to use that to train my legs. So it was a lot of training around it, not doing anything that directly loaded the spine, well, to keep strength in the other areas of my body, while at the same time, and I know you mentioned this in one of your earlier videos, you talked about the McGill Big 3. Those were actually huge in bringing me back from that. Even after the first session, I got up and I noticed, wow, this feels a lot better already. So I was doing those 3 times a day at first, and then I slowly tapered off to 1 time a day. To now where I'm at, they're all still a part of my warm-ups before I go to lift. Any kind of lower body squat, deadlift, anything like that, I still warm up with the big 3. It's been really, really big in helping me get back. The other thing that helped me a lot was actually walking. I noticed that when my sciatica was flaring up during my recovery, if I'd go and just take a brisk, 5-10 minute walk, that blood flow would help to relieve some of the tension and would kind of help the sciatica dissipate. So I credit that a lot too. And the other thing is just being patient. And it was hard for me not to train the way I wanted to because, I couldn't push the weight. I couldn't go heavy. I couldn't do the exercises I had loved to do. But at that time, it's about, I took it as, okay, I can't do this, powerlifting thing right this second. So I'm going to, I can do these, lighter accessory, more bodybuilding style movements. So I had said, hey, I can't lift for this, powerlifting for this period of time. I'm going to focus on at least, progressing in some way. And I was able to put on about 10 to 15 pounds during that period of time. So actually, when I was able to come back to powerlifting, it actually kind of helped me because I had this, bigger, higher body weight. I had a bigger base of strength to pull from because my muscles were bigger. So it actually ended up benefiting me in the long run, even though that recovery was a pretty slow crawl to get back from.
Yeah. And remind me timeline wise, was I right in thinking that this 9 months was basically leading into COVID, and then you were able to start lifting again as we went into the Bob's Power Gym?
Yep. So we had that whole, period there. it was actually dealing with it during Bob's Power Gym. I don't, because you saw I would do the big three, and then as part of my warm ups during Bob's Power Gym, and that was a time where I was able to push through it. And then once we left Bob's Power Gym, this was actually part of the later part of the 9 months. I had to actually stop again. It was so I kind of came back too soon during Power Gym probably, but I was feeling good enough from the big three that I could, keep going, and I still made some good progress there. So it was kind of into both. It started right when I was still in school, and then went through that whole period of time.
Okay, gotcha. Now during that time when you were coming back, were you using Juggernaut